Warriors. This is Miriam Masip, Commander Mimi, and today I want to give you 4 different ways in which you can change your perception whenever you are under a very stressful situation and you can see it in a different light so you can relax, calm the stress response, and think differently, think better, more problem solving, so you can actually start tackling the situation with solutions. When we're under stress, it's very easily to misinterpret situations, and stress doesn't usually result from a negative appraisal of the situation, like this is gonna ruin my life, this is gonna da 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 da, and then you got stress. Sometimes it can be the other way around as well, because you are stressed, you are more likely and you will tend to see things more negatively. You will tend to be more certain that that is the case when sometimes it isn't. So that's why it's so important to keep a lifestyle that will help you not be as vulnerable to stress. You can check my video on the 5 life changes that you need to do to keep your stress levels more under control. So when we're faced with a very stressful situation that is more likely to trigger us, as we said in past videos, we have this situation, then we have a thought such as, the situation might be, my friend was late to the party, and that got you angry. So that's the emotion, and somewhere in between there was a thought that brought that emotion. And what was the thought? We do not react to the situation, we do not react to that, but we react to what we think happened and what that means to us. So she was late, that's a fact. Okay, so what does that mean to us? Someone can be really late for a party, but because you know that, they had a car accident or something, you're probably not gonna get angry. So you're not angry about the situation, you're angry about what you think that means to you, and probably that means to you that she's disrespecting you, she doesn't care about your party, she doesn't care about you, and that is what's making you upset. So that brings up tension, that brings up stress. I'm gonna have to tell her, now we're probably not gonna be friends, I'm gonna have to do this, and all these thoughts are not gonna make you happy. So this is when we need to, 1, calm the stress response like I talked in past videos. And now that you're breathing, you're thinking, well, maybe it's not what I think it is, okay? Now it comes the part where you have to change your perception and maybe try to see things differently to know how to confront the situation better and how to talk to your friend. So in order for you to be able to get to this point, you have to become very aware of these automatic thoughts. So you have to know which situations trigger you a lot more easier, and also what is your tendency of those automatic thoughts. So some people have a tendency to believe, oh, I'm not worth it, she doesn't even care, no one cares about me, da 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 da. Some other people tend to believe a little bit more on the aggressive side of, she's disrespecting me, who does she think I am, and these thoughts that have a tendency to make this person a lot more aggressive. So that helps a lot, just to know what are your tendency. Do you tend to go more towards the passive side, the aggressive side, or the passive aggressive side? And it's important to catch this thought so that you can try to change them and have a wider picture of the truth. Questioning these thoughts. Is that really what she was trying to do? Am I really not worth it? Questioning these thoughts to be able to be a little more grounded and be a lot more assertive. Because the whole point of this is that you can decide, okay, that is not true, I'm totally worth it, but I don't want this in my life, and this person just keeps on doing this to me, so I'm just gonna let her understand that I just can't trust her anymore, and I do want to hang out with her, so we're just gonna have to change the strategy. We're not gonna have times, I'm just gonna be at home, and if she wants to see me, etc. We can come up with strategies, and you can have a life that's more according to what you want, and you can have less of what you don't want. That is what assertiveness means, and that is what we're going to talk about in my next video next week. What is it really to be assertive? Because a lot of people confuse it to being aggressive, and that is very far from the truth. Assertiveness We will talk about this later, but it's more about being able to express how you feel in a manner that brings out more understanding and will give you a better life. So, in order to do this, like we said, we have the situation, then we have those thoughts that we're stressed out. We're gonna calm the stress response, like we talked in my other video. And after that, then this is a good time when we have to ask ourselves some questions and doubt the perception that we're having at that moment. So let's take the same example. This person was disrespectful, or that's what we think. Now, okay, one, is this situation endangering my life? No, I'm not under threat. This is really not endangering my life. There's no need for me to be stressed out because, as we talked about, the stress response is meant to save your life. It's meant to help you fight or flight. That's it. You don't need to be stressed out. There is another type of stress that we will talk about later, but we do need a tiny bit of like just stress alertness. They call it eustress alertness to be able to complete certain tasks, but that's not real acute stress. But that doesn't mean that you need real acute stress. That only harms your problem solving skills. So if it's not a threat to your life, if you don't have anyone coming to hit you, so then you can start calming down and releasing a little bit of that tension. Then, if it's really not threatening your life, what is really the worst that can happen? Well, some people find this question a little bit like, well, it's going to give me anxiety because, it's terrible. But the whole point of this is that you can think, can I survive the worst case scenario? And most often the answer is yes. It is a terrible situation. You'll go through a lot, but that will make you resilient. That will make you strong. The point is knowing that you will be okay. You can always figure it out. And that usually calms down most people. Now, after that second question, we go to the third question. And that is being tense and feeling stressed out going to help me? And usually the answer to that question is no. Because, as we said, if you need to fight or run away, yes, it will help you. But if you need to really solve a situation, especially a social situation, you need to think, you need to problem solve. You don't need to use your muscles. So, no, being tense and stressed out and feeling it's not going to help you. So it would be so much better for you to go and check out my video on how to calm down the stress response. Do those breathing exercises. Get your journal out, go to the bathroom, go walk it off, and now with your journal, or in my case, I use my phone, I use my notes, then you can do this exercise, which is the fourth point. The most basic form of this exercise is writing down situation as it is. My friend was late for the party. Then your automatic thoughts. What are those thoughts that are causing that emotion, that stress response? Well, she's disrespecting me. You just make a list of everything that you think that situation means to you. And automatic thoughts are very, very hard to catch because they're pretty automatic. They go by fast and sometimes you don't even see them. You just feel. But believe me, they are there. They have been so ingrained in you that they're hard to see. But the better you get at catching them, it's going to be so much easier to see them. And they're usually pretty embarrassing. They're usually pretty distorted and even a little extreme. Like, okay, if she doesn't care, then no one's going to care, or something a little bit extreme. Then we're going to try to question our thoughts. If you're justifying your actions, if you're whatever, you try to question yourself. And is there a different way that I can see this? Is there an alternative way? Maybe she wasn't trying to disrespect me. Maybe she was late because, her kid threw up. Maybe there was nothing she can do. Try to place yourself in that person's shoes. And, it doesn't work all the time because we react differently. Remember this, human beings are way too different from one another. But try to find alternatives and different possibilities of why that situation might be that way. And most often you will find that your assumptions are being a little bit overly negative and there could be something else. And you might be right too. You might be right, but that is a good time for you to face it and make the proper decisions to make your life better. Just remember that most of us have some beliefs that were ingrained in childhood, and then we keep on carrying them, and right now as an adult is your time to discover them and start changing them. And it is pretty hard because you're usually covered under layers and layers and layers of experiences that, you know, if you believe that and you have an experience that you're seeing it through that perspective, through that belief, it's probably going to reinforce it. So having to question those thoughts, it's very tough. But the more you question them and you're able to see now from an adult's perspective and how different things can actually be and how different things can look and how different you can look and how you can behave differently, then you're going to start changing. And you're going to be able to take these situations, they're not going to trigger you anymore. You're going to be such a different person. And believe me, you're going to get a lot more done. You're going to feel a lot more proud of yourself, and people are going to work so much better with you if you learn how to be assertive, loving. Assertive is like loving and firm at the same time. So you can speak out and say and ask for what you want and what you deserve, which is a better life. I really hope this helps. Please leave in the comments below any questions you have and anything that you would like me to add for my next videos. Thank you so much. Bye bye.